A dandelion, a flower, a common and ordinary plant. Most of times I can barely notice them when I am walking in a park, in a garden. To see and appreciate them, I need to stop, be present, aware, and intentionally focus my attention. As John Schotter mentioned, there is something interesting in the ordinary, in what we have right in front of us, in what is happening right now, in the present moment. In fact, he used to quote Ludwig Wittgenstein in relation to the idea that there is nothing hidden, everything is on the surface, and there is a need to slow down and see what the world has to offer. From within appreciative practices, it has to do with studying what gives lives to our lives in all of the contexts in which we participate as professionals, practitioners, husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, friends, etc. as human beings. In this Pecha Kucha inspired short video, I will be sharing through different photographies of a dandelion the impact that social construction and relational and appreciative practices have had in my work and my life, and why not, my community. Besides being a social constructionist practitioner and an organizational consultant, I am a photographer. As such, I want to play with the metaphor of the perspective, the lens, the focus, the distance, and the colors to describe my relationship with the Taos Institute and social constructionist, appreciative, and relational practices. When I was making this video, I saw the dandelion and took a picture, an ordinary picture, nothing very exceptional. Then I thought, what if I change the lens and the angle from which I'm taking the picture? Oh, it changes. And what if I change it again? Oh, it changes again. Different aspects of the same flower start to emerge. To think and live within social, constructionist, appreciative, and relational ideas and practices means to see and live in the world from different perspectives. It is like walking with a camera in my hand and intentionally stopping and focusing the attention on different aspects of the world in order to create different compositions, to highlight different aspects and to choose and to decide how to act accordingly. The same happened to me years ago when I started to adopt intentionally a social constructionist, appreciative, and relational postures towards life. My way of making sense of life changed, and I came to realize the performative impact of my actions, of my language. I am not an independent observer of the world. I can change the world through my doings. So, language matters, talking matters. Through conversations and language, we can create and transform the world we live in. Therefore, every time I engage in a conversation, either face-to-face or through books, papers, or conferences, among many others, with practitioners affiliated with the Taos Institute, I learn something that influences my own perspective. Perhaps the most important learning is that I learn to participate in every conversation from within a dialogically shaped framework in which I always enter and still enter the conversation, allowing myself to be changed by what others say. In other words, I learned to question my own ideas and beliefs and be open for new things in the conversations to emerge. This is how systems change. Using the images of the dandelion to illustrate this idea, it has to do with approaching the flower with a specific posture, allowing myself to be amazed and surprised by details I didn't see at the beginning. For example, it might have to do with waiting and let time pass in order to deepen my understanding. This photography at the end of the afternoon, when the dandelion goes to sleep, so to say, and the flower closes its petals, illustrate this idea. A very different image that is only possible if we let time pass by, or when the flower goes through the process of transformation. The possibilities are endless. As Gianfranco Cecchin would say, we never run out of questions. What usually happens is that we lose our curiosity in ourselves, in the stories of the others. Being a social constructionist, relational, and appreciative practitioner implies to always imagine and create more possibilities. When I have used all my lenses and adopted different perspectives, I can still go beyond the camera. It is possible to play or be curious with the image of the dandelion. For example, by using different colors and filters, the image changes and something very unique emerges. And it emerges within an ethical and aesthetic context, guided with Barnett Pierce's question about how to create better social worlds. Social constructionist, relational, and appreciative practices have encouraged me to think and act within this ethical and aesthetical context, which has the intention to create action and realities that are inclusive, appreciative, and foster better social worlds for everyone. Social constructionism, relational, and appreciative practices are beginnings, not endings, in terms that they ignite the ideas, actions, and relationships to move forward and contribute to the creation of different social worlds. In this sense, more than specific tools or methods, I have learned from social constructionist practices the importance of sense-making. In his last book entitled Speaking Actually, John Schotter mentioned that he is not interested in giving tools nor tips, but to encourage us to create our own understandings and meanings. So, for example, this picture of the dandelion out of focus sparks the imagination. And this is one of the ways in which I have impacted the people I have been working with, inviting people in different contexts to make sense of their own realities from different perspectives and angles in order to construct the best ways to move on. And this is also represented by the idea that I am not the expert in the lives of others. I like to see myself, as John Schotter and Jakob Storch would say, as someone whose circumstances or occasionates the conditions for change to happen. There is no unique or better picture of the dandelion. There are a lot of dandelions, and they are all different and may serve for different purposes. I have learned that social constructionism gives me the freedom to choose and to create the world I want to live in. The realities we live in are in constant state of becoming, which give us always the opportunity to maintain or change the actions we are doing. I intentionally choose a simple plan to depict the huge impact and possibilities these ideas, epistemologies, practices, and ways of living and seeing the world can have in more complex situations. This video presents a beginning, not an ending.